Good morning, Amos. How you doing, buddy? Good morning. Good morning. What? Famous Amos. Let me turn the fence off, buddy, and I'll give you your breakfast. Good morning, baby girl. Hi, honey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So we've had a bad situation lately. You may remember that we had a close call with our predator and our Icelandics out here. Well, they came back, and unfortunately it didn't turn out so well. We are down to one Icelandic hen and our rooster Yosemite Sam. And this is it. Which is why at the end of March I will be receiving a shipment of Icelandic eggs, and we will be hatching out a whole nother batch of them. Somebody's in heat again. Oh goodness, Addie. Alright guys, so I have been out here working this afternoon. I've got a little bit more to do. This is the area that has been our in-ground no-till garden. And you know, when we first established it, yes, we did till it. But then for the next several years, there was no tilling that took place out here. I just aerated the soil with an aeration tool, mulched it, you know, all that good stuff. And it hasn't been tilled. And I've spent years making some really good soil in here where it was nothing but that hard Alabama clay. And while I know we're not going to be here, whoever purchases our homestead, you know, they may want to have an in-ground garden, and they may want to take advantage of the fact that you're going to have some black soil, you know? And so I'm laying down just some plastic to kill off the vegetation. These are the two original long beds. And then right over here, I don't know if you can see it on camera, there's another bed right here. Well, you can kind of make out the lines just a little bit there. And then there's an area right in here where we have sometimes done beds, but I'll go ahead and cover that up as well. That way, if they want to use that spot, they can. Oh, and my compost bins, whoo, they are overgrown. Well, I take that back. When I built them, I put down rubber stall mats to keep the wild blackberries from growing up through them. And there's some wild blackberries, but it's not through them. It's on the outside, so I just got to cut it back. But those are still, you know, plenty usable. And I just wanted to show you something. So when you have chickens that run loose everywhere, sometimes you find random eggs. But I have no idea how old this egg is. And it's kind of grass stained, so I think it's been there a while. So this will go out into the woods for the raccoons to have. Hello friends, I am on my way back to Arkansas, but I'm not going by myself today. I have some company. Mr. Dookie's coming with me. You know, we got him several years ago when we were still when Mr. Smith was still active duty. We still lived in Redstone Arsenal before we had the homestead. And I had a video, I don't know if it's still up, but I had a video where I talked about the story of us getting him. If I can find it, if it's still up, I'll put a link to it in the description down below. But you know, we've had him for going on about 7.5 years now. And he's a big dog, and he wasn't a puppy when we got him. I think they said he was like 2 or 3 years old when we got him. And you know, in the last year or so, his face has started turning white, and he slowed down a little bit. And every time I come back from Arkansas to Alabama, where he's been staying with Mr. Smith, it just hurts my heart. And I decided, you know what, this time I'm going to bring him with me. I'm going to be spending a lot of time working outside. I mean, he can be out there with me, and you know, the Jack and his wife Samantha and little Willow are there, so you know, they can help keep an eye on him a little bit. And you know, I'm gonna so ugly cry when his time comes. I'm gonna so ugly cry. We got him. We actually adopted him from an animal shelter. He had been a stray. He'd had no socialization whatsoever, to the point we actually thought he was deaf when we got him. For about 3 days, we thought he was a deaf dog, because he never responded to any sound that you would make to get a dog's attention. It's like he didn't know that humans talk to dogs. It was very heartbreaking. But he learned really quick when it finally clicked what we were doing when we were making all these weird noises, you know. It clicked. He housebroke really fast. We taught him to ring a bell. We have like a jingle bell thing that hangs on the door, or at that house it hung on the back door, and we taught him to jingle the bell when he needed to go outside. And I think I only jingled it 2 times. You know, when I was letting him out, I jingled it and I opened the door, and that's all it took. From that point on, he knew. It was incredibly quick that he learned that. And at our house, yeah, you know, at the homestead, the dogs have to go through the kitchen, but we don't let the dogs in the kitchen. And so we have a gate that, you know, shuts it off so they don't go in there. So I just hung their little jingle bell on the gate. And so when they want out, they just walk up, they jingle the bell, and we let them out. And, you know, Shotzi and Ute, our other 2 dogs, they learned to jingle the bell from Duke. It's so funny how animals will learn things from each other and mimic each other. Now I'm driving and I'm noticing a lot of trees down. I guess I just didn't really notice it last time I drove through here. But while I was in Arkansas the last time, there was a lot of storms here. Really bad storms. And, you know, we were fine there in Arkansas. We did get a ton of rain. As a matter of fact, I realized I haven't shared that. Overnight, when that storm system came through, we got over a foot of rain, all just in one night. And when I got up the next morning, well, I'll just share what I filmed and then just haven't shared with y'all. I'll share that right here. Good morning, friends. So last night we got massive storms here in Arkansas, and it was actually still storming here this morning. Just stopped a little bit ago. And check out the creek. Holy moly, can you hear that? Let me walk down there and give you a closer look. So we were fine, you know, we had just gotten all that rain, and then the creek was like a raging river. But I will tell you, that area, it drains out very quickly, because even though the creek looked like that in the morning, by midday it was already down and back to normal. So it didn't take long at all for the water levels to go down. And while the water was swiftly moving through there, it never left its banks. Now, while it didn't come out of the banks, even though we had massive amounts of rain overnight, that is still part of the reason we are not building any permanent structures yet for the animals, because we want to watch that creek, and we want to see what happens when there is massive amounts of rain upon rain. Does it leave its banks? Is there areas, or are there areas that flood? That way we can spend the time just kind of watching before we build something permanent. And those, you know, hoop shelters that I'm building, wherever I put them at this point, they are movable. So if I put them somewhere and realize that that is not a good spot and we need to move them right away, we'll have the ability to do that. What's going on, Dookie? What's going on? Huh? You checking everything out? Dookie likes going for rides in the truck. Don't you, buddy? All right, I'm going to head on down the road, and I'll check in with y'all later on. Where we headed, Dookie? It is a bumpy road, huh? Bumpity bumpity. Oh, he's getting excited. Oh, what's going on? Bumpity bumpity bumpity. Oh, there's dog hair everywhere. Everywhere, Dookie. Everywhere. What's that, Dookie? Walk over here, look. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? What is it? Hey guys, so we made it safe and sound to Arkansas, and as soon as we got here, we worked on a very quick temporary project because we got Mr. Duke along on the trip, and Duke is accustomed to having a fenced-in backyard, and considering where we're at, we needed a space where he could safely come outside, and he's not really used to being on a leash anymore because, you know, we live in the country. And so, Jack actually had a great idea. I was trying to figure out what I was going to put up here temporarily. And I said something about needing to get more fencing. And he said, well, we have that fencing out in the shed that you brought. And I'm like, oh, duh. So we set up some temporary fencing. So right behind me, we have a set of stairs that come, you know, up to the house. and it comes out here to the yard. Well, there's stairs going down this way, and then they go up, you know, the stone steps to the other entrance and the greenhouse and all that stuff. But we didn't want Dookie going that way, so we grabbed some cattle panel pieces that I brought with me from Alabama. We just kind of zip tied them to the posts, and we zip tied them going up the side of the stairs. You can see right there, so that he wouldn't go out the side. And then on this side, we have a railing, but it just kind of steps down, and we grabbed these. I think they're lawnmower tires they were using as like flower pots. Grabbed these to make a little bit of a step for him because it is kind of high. And so now he can come out this way because we set up a run of goat fencing. Now, when I was here last time, I started to put in T-posts. I only got in a handful of them. I got down to right there, and that one is solid rock. So, and a lot of this is rock, but over there, that one is like solid. So I think there's a boulder under there. So I was exhausted because that was also the day I had been working on the chicken coop, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done for today. And so that T-post will get moved. But we've got this run of goat fencing. It's not charged or anything. Duke doesn't really need that. He just needed a physical barrier so that he knew where he could go. And it comes up here around the back side of the house. If it's raining, he can go up under here. The previous owners actually had dog houses up there. And so he's got this whole hillside here where he can run around. And he was very happy to get out of the truck. Weren't you, Dookie? That was the longest ride you've ever been on. Now, he had gone to Tennessee with us to visit Mama and Papa before they passed away. But that was nowhere near as long of a drive. That was only 5 to 6 hours, depending on traffic. Usually, depending on what it looked like when we went through Chattanooga. But this was an 8-hour drive. But he was thoroughly enjoying it. What'd you hear? You can hear noise because there's people in there, huh? Dookie! What'd you hear, huh? Who's in there? Who's in there? Huh? Oh! And look who's here! Say hi, Bean. Huh, baby girl. She just woke up from a nap, didn't ya? Yeah. Did you just wake up from a nap? So the plan then, what we're going to do is, because there's steps on the other side of this platform, I'm going to move this railing to the other side, move the steps from that side to this side. I'll probably actually need to make more steps because there's only like two. Actually, I think there's only one step over there. We'll need to make a couple more for this side, won't we, Bean? Probably 3 would be my guess. Because even Dookie has a little bit of a hard time getting up there. There ain't no way Shotzi's going to be able to do it. Well, actually, Shotzi probably can jump because he can jump. Huh. Were you happy to see Dookie? Huh? Bean. Bean. Hey. Were you happy to see Dookie? Oh, she wants to Dookie. She's like, hi, Dookie. Hi, Dookie. She loves the Dookie, don't ya? Yeah. His face is getting so white. It looks even whiter now. Jack commented on it too. He said it looks whiter than it was recently. I think maybe the stress might be doing that to him. Because there's a lot going on. He's not used to this, is he? No. My baby girl. Alrighty. So we are losing light and we've still got things to do. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up for today. Spend some time with little Miss Bean. And we'll talk to y'all next time.